Hey people, are we live? Oh, where is my thing? It's not plugged in. I'm so glad I remembered. It almost seems like the sound is better when I'm holding it, but not having it attached to my chest. Let's see. All right. So, anybody there? How's the sound? I'm thinking maybe I'll just hold on to it because I noticed a big difference in the last video that when I attached it to my shirt, it didn't sound as good. So you guys can tell me if you're here. So I know that most of the Squirrel Squad is hanging out with Shan right now, and I feel kind of bad coming on live. I'm not trying to compete with my friend. I just really needed to talk to you guys. I've got some things weighing heavy on my heart with the Kylie Rodney case, with the Watts case, and with the Mo Wilson case. I think that's it. Let's see. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that those are the only cases that I've come to speak with you about. Yeah. So let's just go over some business real quick. Anybody here? Please subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed. If you are subscribed and want to stay subscribed, because I think that some of my subscribers are getting removed. That's okay. Whatever. Share the video if you like it. If it turns out to be a decent one, I don't know if it will. No promises. Hey, Annie Ruler, you're the bomb. Thank you so much for coming in. And then turn on your notification bell to ring if you like. And I'm just holding the mic. Let me do a test. Tell me if it's better sound when it's down here on my shirt or if I'm holding it out here. Because when I was reviewing my last tape, it seemed like it was much better when it wasn't on my shirt. And so I'm thinking maybe when it's on my shirt, that's not as clear. So please hit that like button if you'd be so kind. And I'm going to try to do this. I really wanted to get on live with you guys. I wasn't sure that I was going to today because I just had a lot of stuff I had to get done. You know, my yoga teacher training is kicking my butt. So that's a good thing, though. It's good for my health. And that blasted toe, I'm afraid that toenail is going to come off. I was thinking I was going to skate by without that happening, but I don't know. It's looking pretty wacky today, all of a sudden, tonight, actually. And I've never lost a toenail, so I don't know what it looks like, but I'm having a feeling that it's what it looks like. So let's see. Should we start with talking about the slim whoever that came into my comment section? I lost 2 toenails, taped them on. Yuck. Yeah, especially with yoga, like, you know, it's tough because it's my left big toe nail, and there's a lot of transitions with plank and downward dog that you do in pretty much every yoga class that kind of get into that spot. So I want to talk about the troll that came into my comment section because I think that they have a very relevant point and I want to state my case. I also want to talk about Mo Wilson and Paula Plunder's videos that she's done the last few days with some of the body cam footage from the police, from law enforcement. Hey, Mark Molina, I'm really sorry to interrupt you guys if you were wanting to see Shan's live. I just had to come on and talk about these things. So Kylie, Mo, and the Watts case. I need to talk about Rourke a little bit more, and that amazing channel whose name I have written down right in front of me so I don't forget it, Behind Criminal Minds. So their last video about Rourke and NK and Watts was over 2 hours long, and I was able to listen to it twice because it was that important to me. They did a really good job. So I think what they were doing was kind of covering some of the stuff that was in their last video that got struck. But they're just very methodical. But let's start out with the troll that came into my comment section. Actually, I don't know for sure that they were in the comment section. They were in the community tab, the community post. So I put one up of that purple flag with the black spray paint. And I caught your live today, Mark. I caught it after the fact. You had that lovely photograph of the stage from the Celebration of Life and the purple flag on either side. So this person, Slim somebody, like let's just call them Slim Shady. I mean, who knows if it's Lindsay or a friend of Lindsay's or just somebody else that feels like coming to bat for Lindsay. But I keep reviewing that ninja video too, the 23-minute one that's called Worried. And I'm completely convinced that Lindsay screwed up big time. She really let the cat out of the bag. And I'll go over that in some more tedious detail tomorrow. But I really wanted to address Slim Sadie and their proposal that I'm just being rude to Kylie's mother and to everybody about the purple banner with the black spray paint. So that freaking black spray paint is crazy looking, but I have never been to a Titanic, that starts with an S kind of event. And I don't know that you could see photographs of that stuff online. I don't even want to Google it. But I know people who have grown up with that type of abuse, and they've told me that those flags, the purple flags with the black spray paint, are 100% Titanic in their opinion. People who grew up with ritual abuse. So that's what I'm going on. But that aside, who in the world is going to use black spray paint for the silhouette? Like, yeah, it's a gorgeous photograph. That photograph of Kylie that the flag is a silhouette of, but it doesn't translate so well to the black spray paint. And it's just the craziest thing to use black spray paint for a Celebration of Life banner. It's just freakishly bizarre. And I just don't care if I sound callous, because I am under the impression that Ms. Kylie Rodney's mother did nothing to protect her daughter and has done nothing to try to get justice for her daughter. So I'm not on the fence about that anymore. She really screwed up multiple times in her interviews. This is why criminals don't usually get interviewed, or they lawyer up and have their lawyer speak for them. And sometimes that makes people look guilty, but sometimes that's just a smart way to play it, whether you're guilty or not. So the fact that they kept talking and interviewing just like Scammy did is great. We have all that material. And the thing is that when people are talking, they can't keep track of all of their lies. If they're telling the truth, it's okay if things get mixed up and out of order, because that's how real life is. But when you're lying and you're screwing up, it becomes more apparent. So I'm trying not to just take those comments out of the comment section from Slim Sadie, because I do like to try to keep an open mind and allow anybody to speak their opinion. However, this seems like a definite troll to me that is either a Lindsay lover or maybe somebody that knows her. And the fact that they're trying to get me to back off of Lindsay just fuels my fire, because it just confirms for me that I'm onto something, and Otherwise, they wouldn't be coming out of nowhere. I've never seen this commenter anywhere. Kylie Rodney Grandpa seemed the most caring. I am learning, like JB Ramsey, they break their kids' barriers young. They are more moldable for their doomed life. Oh, that's so sad, Annie. I know. I don't know if I've told you guys that I know people who actually grew up with that type of abuse. I know I told you guys about that whole thing in Thurston County, Washington State, back in the 80s. I'm not going to get into all that. That's a whole nother thing. Hay raised from perdition. It could be Lindsay. Yeah, Annie Ruler. It absolutely can possibly be her. I don't get the feeling it's her. I get the feeling it's like a friend of hers or something. But anyway, so I'm leaving those comments in, and I keep responding to their comments, and they keep responding to me, responding to their comments. So I haven't checked in a few hours, but I'm trying not to be rude, but I'm trying to be direct, because all they're doing for me is helping me feel more confident that I'm right. And I wish that I wasn't. I would love to be wrong. I don't need to be right. Like, if they wanted to prove me wrong for real, like seriously, I would love to be wrong. But, they just came out saying some nasty stuff like, oh, I'm just trying to be dramatic and trying to get attention. And no, I'm not. Okay. I'm trying to speak the truth from the bottom of my heart, as you guys know, because somebody tried to unalive me when I was 11. And this case speaks very, very loudly to me. I identify with Kylie Rodney immensely. And I'll just go ahead and tell you guys a little bit more about that. It was my biological father who tried to poison me and my sister with carbon monoxide in a freaking car. Okay, there, I spilled it. He almost succeeded. I've mentioned things about it. I usually kind of talk around it just because this is YouTube, and like that troll slimshady can turn around and say, oh, well, Lindsay's not your dad. Yeah, I know that she's not my dad, but I also recognize the lies, because he had me snowed when I was 11, and he said he never heard of carbon monoxide poisoning. And that was what gave him away to law enforcement, to the social worker, and eventually to me 10 years later, when I realized he was lying. I mean, he was lying. He said he'd never heard of it. And anyway, let's move on. I like sharing stuff with you guys. I just feel like I need to be careful, especially because it's YouTube, and there's trolls. Everything you say can and will be used against you, right? I haven't done my disclaimer that everything I say is simply my opinion. I love you guys. I love to just be straight up and honest, and not have things rehearsed. Like, I didn't know I was going to share all that tonight. I always want to share that, but I always want to stay focused on the cases that we're focused on. Anyway, everything that I say is not only my opinion. I'm hoping to open up a discussion and learn something and share what I know, learn from you guys. Hopefully you'll learn from me. I hope to inspire other people to talk about their traumas. And every time I talk about my trauma, it brings me to a new level of awareness every single time, because every single time I'm talking about it differently. I'm remembering different parts of it. So, the other thing I always want to say in my disclaimer is that all my videos are made for YouTube. It's an entertainment platform. So yeah, I love you guys. I just love being straight up with you. I don't need the sympathy, but I appreciate it. And yeah, this is why I've spent my life in therapy, and I became a therapist. And it's a long haul, baby. We know you are speaking the truth and searching valiantly for answers. The Slim Sadie sounds like one of the Truckee trolls. Yeah, it's hilarious, the handle name that they used. And like I said, they came out of nowhere. I've never seen them before. And I told them, like, there's like a million other videos to watch. And they're like, oh, but you came up in my feed. And I'm like, still, do you watch everything that comes up in your feed? Like, screw off. I mean, yes, it is very interesting stuff about the truth. I love that, Michael. And I missed a couple. Let's see. move on, but I a hose, not innocent, sick, sorry. I'm not sure what you meant, Annie Ruler. If you want to clarify, it looks like you got some typos in there. Mark, thank you for your sympathy. That's really sweet. And let's see. It's hard and we get it. And yeah, I never expected to share my own personal trauma in my YouTube channel, but there's times where it just feels appropriate. And this is one of those times. So thanks. I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I just feel like it's more interesting to me to talk about these cases. And, maybe one day I'll do a video from the ground up of that whole crap BS, but not today, Satan, not today. Come at bro troll. Oh, you're so cute, Mark. You're cracking me up. A hose for carbon monoxide poisoning. I gotcha. Okay. Yeah. It's a long story, but my father had a genius IQ. He worked on the car himself, and there was just a whole lot of lies. We lived in Southern California. He had a really good job at UCLA. He was the assistant editor for a single parenting magazine, and he was a writer, so this was a great job. But he just up and quit. He said that he got this great job offer in Florida, and so we piled into the car. We were moving to Florida. This happened on the way to Florida in Arizona, in a McDonald's parking lot. McDonald's is a trigger for me. I still like Big Macs and French fries, but it took a while to get over that. Those golden arches have a whole nother meaning for me. Anyway, he poisoned us with the carbon monoxide in the car in the parking lot. And if not for our dog, we both would have been deceased, me and my sister. So the dog saved our lives. We were rescued by the medics. It was bad. It was really bad. I don't want to keep talking about it because I don't want to start to cry, but my sister had much worse carbon monoxide poisoning than I did. So I did hide the little bottle, and I don't know if anybody can see it. I'm not looking at it, but the lid of the little Tabasco bottle, that bright red, your blood's not supposed to be that red, and her blood was that red. I'll get more into that another time. I'm going to switch gears, not because I'm trying to avoid the emotion, but because I really want to talk about the MF Rourke. And I also really want to talk about Mo Wilson. And if you guys haven't seen Paula Plunder's last two videos with the body cam footage, it's horrifying. It's so freaking awful. And I'm so glad that she's put it out there. But I've got some thoughts and feelings about it that I'd want to share with you guys. And you likely see many of us true crime people want justice because we didn't get it. Annie Ruler, exactly. And, sometimes people come into my comment section acting like I'm a crusader for justice for other victims, and like that I don't know what it's like to be a victim. And it's like, obviously you haven't watched my freaking channel. It's really hard to say those words because I don't see myself as a victim, don't want to be a victim. I'm not a victim, but yet I was a victim, and it sucks. And it took me a long time to come to terms with that. Like, I really was in denial for decades. Even when I realized that he did it intentionally, I still had so much denial just around that simple word, victim. Anyway, yes. And so you guys know my philosophy is that when we're looking at these true crime cases, we're able to simultaneously avoid our own issues and work out our own issues simultaneously. So it's a beautiful thing. And I firmly believe that, because that's what I learned as a mental health counselor, as a psychotherapist. That's exactly what I did with all my clients. Is I took a vacation from my own problems, focused on their problems, paid vacation, And at the same time, if you're not simultaneously in tune with your own issues, you're going to fail your client and you're going to fail yourself. You can't do that as a psychotherapist. You have to be in touch with your own issues. Okay. So, oh, dang it, Nancy. I love you too, honey pie. You're so sweet. I love all you guys. You guys are the bomb. Now I'm going to start crying. No, it's just so amazing to build your true crime community, isn't it? It's like another family. It really is. And I've missed you guys like crazy today. I was like, oh, I can skip a day and just do a video tomorrow. And I'm like, no, I can't. Got to see my people. Gots to. So Poisonoid, you're here. Keep missing lives, but always watch. Keep doing you, Jazz. Well, and that's all I try to do. I just try to be myself. And, you know, sometimes it's hard because, you know, you're on video and you might not know how to act like yourself. So this is why I like to laugh at myself and I like to just keep it real, right? And you guys just mean the world to me. How scary. I'm so sorry, Jazz. You know what? Raised from Perdition, it wasn't scary because I thought it was an accident. I was 11 years old and I completely bought his line of crap. And it wasn't until I was in my early 20s that I realized that there was no flipping way it was an accident. But, you know, just the whole PTSD and the whole healing process is just so mystical. It's so different for each person, and anniversaries are a big deal, and certain triggers can be a big deal. You never know what's going to trigger you. Like I was triggered in high school in chemistry class when we learned about carbon monoxide, right? I mean, because that was my thing. But anyway, then like I said, the Golden Arches, you know, Big Mac and fries. Yeah. And I have no contact with that person. And he's, you know, he's criminally insane. He's been in and out of jail. He should go to jail for attempted murder for that. And it's possible that that could still happen. But honestly, I don't even know if he's alive. He literally could have been burned in the Lahaina fires. I honestly don't know. I pretty much don't care. I used to keep track of whether he was in jail or not. The last I knew, he was living in Hawaii, and he was a frequent flyer with law enforcement, shall we say. So, yeah, I live my life, and, you know, I don't hate him for it, and I forgive him, but, you know, he's not a safe person, obviously, and he's messed up. Anyway. We lived and had a good life there. Sucked. Annie Ruler. Yeah. Yeah. And it's amazing to learn how to deal with the duplicity and to reconcile things like that. He was a really nurturing person. He was really kind and sweet and had a lot of fabulous qualities. And I used to make a lot of jokes about it, like, you know, other than the trying to kill us, you know, other than that, I used to make so many jokes about it. That was part of my denial. You know, I would say, well, I wasn't abused as a child because I wasn't. And people often assume that you are if you say that you have anything in your past. And I would like jokingly say, you know, I was never abused. He just merely tried to take us out that one time. And I thought it was cute. I thought it was funny. And after years of sharing that, I realized that I was being pretty twisted and I was avoiding the truth by being lighthearted about it. But, you know, it's all part of the process. Anyway, we're moving on. We're switching gears. I really want to talk about Mo Wilson. I really want to talk about Behind Criminal Minds. Let's see. But thanks so much, you guys. Thanks for being here. Hey, Jazzy, know that her feed is a few minutes behind again. Whose feed is a few minutes behind again? You mean what I'm reading and what you guys are typing? Because, yeah, I'm about 4 minutes behind, but I'll get caught up real quick and then talk about some of this stuff. Don't be hating. That just cracks me up that it takes me a minute every time. Don't be hating. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, catching up. Jazz, where you skipping along in life until you hit in your 20s, and then it was like, bam, lost my best friend and her 5-year-old daughter from carbon monoxide. Do you still have the dog? Oh, dang it, Nancy. Wow. No, the dog was hit by a car just like a year later. Because my father had custody of me and my sister, and he didn't take good care of us. He didn't take good care of the animals. The dog should have never been hit by a car, but it died a year later. So it served its purpose. That was an awesome pet. And what was that? Yeah. So, I was dealing with it before my 20s, but, it suddenly hit me one day. It was like the stars align and everything uh, crystallizes, and you see it for what it is. And it's a wild experience. But I think anybody with a real serious major trauma um, might be able to understand that type of reality. So it was just like a day where these thoughts that I always had were in my mind, and all of a sudden I realized like it was no accident. So anyway, your best friend and her 5-year-old daughter, carbon monoxide. That's so sad. Oh my goodness, that is so crazy. And yeah, I mean, with those guys in Kansas City, that could have been carbon monoxide, but I don't know if I really want to talk about that case, because I just think a stupid case, kind of like Idaho 4. Like, law enforcement is just being ridiculous with both of those cases. And let's see. I was afraid would pop up in Cabo. He has 3 weeks vacation, disabled himself now, no worries. Yeah, I used to be afraid of the person that did that, but I'm not at all afraid of him. I actually had a dream that turned that around, where I just told him, hey, you can't scare me anymore. Screw yourself. But it kind of reminds me of a scene in the thing about Pam miniseries with Pam Hupp, played by Renee Zellweger, the daughter of Betsy Faria, who Pam unalived, and then the father of that daughter went to prison for a few years. She confronted Pam in a scene in a restaurant where she had to wait on her. She was a server, and she chased Pam out of the restaurant and confronted her. And it was very much like the dream that I had had decades ago, probably 30 years ago. Because I used to be very afraid of him showing up, or anyway. I haven't seen him in a million years. It would have been easier if there wasn't a good side too. Exactly. Don't be hating. That is precisely true. In my early 20s, when I really got into therapy, I would say exactly that. Like, if he was just freaking Satan, it would be a lot easier to just write him off. But I had delusions that I could repair the relationship. And I got over that real quick. Oh, real quick. Yeah. But yeah, reconciling people with the crap that they do. I mean, again, it doesn't mean that they're bad people. It means that they make bad choices. And he had his own crap. He grew up with his own crap, the generational hand-me-downs of problems, as I call them. Was there an arrest today on KC3? Was there? I haven't been keeping up with YouTube the way I usually do. I've been trying to stay caught up on all my yoga homework. So I'm being a full-time student, like, seriously. So I did do some YouTube, because I always have to do some, but I think I probably missed a lot. I have another friend that passed away from being unalived in her house, and she was doing so very good. And I found out from another mutual friend. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That's terrible. So yeah, let's talk about, which one should we talk about first, Mo Wilson or Rourke? Let's talk about Mo Wilson, because I am just haunted by the last few hours of her life, is what you can see on the Paula Plunder videos. So she went out to dinner with Colin Strickland, who I think is a real dirtbag. I see him as a victim of Caitlyn a little bit, but I am very harsh on him for a lot of reasons. He bought the gun for Caitlyn that Mo was unalived with. When the police first asked him if he knew Anna Mo Wilson, he said no. This is when they came to his garage the next morning to let him know that she passed away. So at first he said no. And I can understand that he might have been a little confused with the Anna Mo Wilson. He knew her as Mo Wilson. And he was probably very taken off guard at the fact that these were people walking into his garage. I don't know if he saw their badges, if they identified themselves as law enforcement, but I think he was being dishonest. I think that he knew who Anna Mo Wilson was, and he said no. And then a minute later, he admitted that he did. And, you know, he looks like he's going to throw up. He looks like he's going to pass out. But, you know, he's not being forthright with any of the information about his roommate / on and off again girlfriend. And in watching the video body cam footage, I feel like I can see the cranks going, the gears grinding in his head, that he knows that there's a very high probability that his roommate did this. But I have to be honest, you guys, I have mentioned this once or twice before. I'm really suspicious if he had something to do with it. If he had let Mo know something that he wished that he hadn't let her know. I think it's far-fetched, but I think it's possible. And there's reasons that I think that. You know, he's a millionaire. And Caitlyn, his girlfriend, on and off again girlfriend, owed him like $400,000, still owes him like $400,000. So they had this business with the remodeling or refurbishing used trailers, you know, for camping trailers. And I just suspect that there was something shady with his business dealings that he might have let Mo know about, because they were very hot and heavy for only a week, but still I could see him thinking that she was the one. And maybe it just didn't jibe. You know, maybe she grew up in Vermont in a very wealthy family, and maybe she wasn't so keen with his greed. I mean, it seems like there was just never enough money for him. Anyway, that's all my speculation and confabulation. But the fact that he bought the gun for Caitlyn, the fact that he was not forthright about any of the information, the fact that he went and stomped on the foot of an investigative journalist outside the court, and just the way he provided testimony, like barely provided testimony, you guys, like he was mumbling. And, you know, most people would be held in contempt of court for speaking like that when speaking to the judge. You know, he's definitely a privileged individual and treated differently. He should have been arrested too for stomping on that photographer's foot. Yeah. And, you know, he wasn't exactly forthright in his conversation with law enforcement the very next morning. So he could have provided them with a lot more information to get the ball rolling with them figuring out what the heck happened, had he been candid. But I think he was more focused on protecting himself and his reputation, that even if he didn't have any knowledge of it, but Caitlin sent him a text at about 7:30, I think, that night, that said Fini, Fini. That was all it said in the text. And I can't help but wonder, like, I don't think he texted her back, like, what are you talking about? I can't help but wonder if that was code. So when he dropped Mo off at her friend's place after they had dinner, he texted Caitlin and said, the flowers are delivered. My phone was dead. Should we pick up food on the way home or something like that? But again, my suspicious mind, I wonder if the flowers delivered and the phone being dead, if that was code, if he was letting her know that Mo was delivered. It's just me and my crazy conspiracy theory brain. But I highly recommend Paula Plunder's videos. I'll put links to those in the description. I'm going to read some of your chat, and then we'll get on with talking about Rourke and Behind Criminal Minds, because they've just been doing such amazing work, and I want to get into their momentum and keep their momentum, because I do feel like that we, the people, can demand an investigation of NK. I do feel like that's realistic. Whether that means a new DA or Rourke coming to his senses. I mean, I don't think he will come to his senses, but there could be a new DA. So let's see. Was there an arrest today? Don't be hating. I have another friend. Okay, I read that one. It's highlighted. Let's see. Kansas City 3, I thought, was arrested today. Instead, he was cuffed during their investigation at the house. Oh, so they didn't arrest him? But he moved out. He doesn't even live at that place anymore, the house that he was renting. But, the whole thing is just so stupid from the ground up. If you were at your house and your guests passed away and you didn't know about it, wouldn't you be like freaking out? Like, these people don't understand how much they give themselves away just with like not freaking out. Like you'd be extremely emotional. You'd just be like, holy crap, man. You'd be out of your freaking skull. I hate it when I borrow $400K from a friend and forget to pay it back. Ugh. Right. So when they were broken up and he dated Mo for that week, then allegedly him and Caitlin got back together. But see, they had bought a house together or something. I mean, she had her own place, but then she moved in with him. So he was everything to her. If they broke up, she had no place to live. If they broke up, she might have to pay that money back. She might have been in love with him too. But one of the things that I really want to say about her, and I almost forgot, is that I wonder if she didn't think that she could get away with it because she's this cute little petite yoga teacher. And to be very frank and transparent, doing yoga is all about peace and justice. So it's all about being honest with yourself and being honest with other people. So there's an etiquette to being a yoga teacher that it's almost like a Hippocratic oath kind of thing when you're a certified yoga instructor, which she was. And so it just makes me wonder if in her narcissism, she thought that she could get away with it because she's petite and she's pretty and people wouldn't suspect her, kind of like Scammy, kind of like NK, kind of like Jodi Arias. The list goes on, kind of like Casey Anthony. A lot of times these women, I think, want to believe that they can be camouflaged in the fact that they're female. And unfortunately, I think that they're right. I think a lot of times it is hard for people to understand that they can be just as dangerous and vile as a dude, right? But anyway, let's maybe shift gears, unless there's anything else you guys want to add about Mo. It's just so sad. I mean, that woman had everything going for her, and she just like goes swimming, she goes out for a burger, and then she's in the bathroom, and then she screams, and then it's over. I mean, absolutely disgusting. 25 years old. It was like a week before she turned 26, you guys. And then her poor friend, Caitlin Cash, who was doing the CPR on her. And again, you can listen to the dispatch 911 call, and it's just so gruesome. I mean, it just hits so close to home. But I got to give it to the law enforcement there in Austin, Texas, because they found the bike quickly, and the bike was a bit of a distance away from the house. Caitlin picked up the bike and threw it into the bushes somewhere. So, maybe she was going to steal it. I mean, it's probably like a $5,000 or $10,000 bike would be my guess. I don't know. But maybe she changed her mind because she realized that, somebody like Colin might see the bike in her possession. So, maybe she just took it just to be a jerk, but whatever it was, she took it and then she threw it in the bushes a few houses away or a block away or something. But law enforcement found it quickly. And like I said, for that, I want to give them a huge shout out, because I do love it when I'm not complaining about the law enforcement. I love it when I'm not complaining about stuff, because I do have a lot to complain about. That was something Slim Sadie said, like, oh, you just want stuff to complain about. It's like, no, I actually don't want stuff to complain about, but if it's there, I'm gonna call a spade a spade. Okay, so let's see. Annie, you crack me up. I gotta highlight that one. I hate it when you borrow $400,000. I know. And now she's in jail and she still owes him $450,000. And he's pissed. I don't think he's ever going to see that money. So what's he going to do? Ugh. I'm sure he can't just get over it because, it's $500,000, baby. Anyway, finished. Annie Ruler. Exactly. So she texted him that at 7:20. I don't think Caitlin was dropped off though until like 8 or even after 8. And then I think her friend came home at about 10. I was going to try to find out what the exact time of the gunshots are, because they have that on the Ring doorbell camera audio. So they know exactly what time it happened. But I think it was somewhere around 8:30, maybe, give or take. And the finished text was somewhere around 7:30 that she sent that. Annie, yes, I saw that. They released a video of them cuffing him and then releasing him. So sometimes law enforcement will say things publicly to get the perps to let their guard down, right? So that's what I'm hoping is the case with Kansas City police, because that would be ridiculous if they're believing that there's no foul play. I mean, come on. Something bad happened. And I've paid attention to that case, but we'll switch gears and get over into the Watts case with Rourke and the Behind Criminal Minds video. And I'll put a link to that in the description here too. I'll catch the rest after reading with my son. Thanks, Jazz and Chat. Peace and justice. Aw. Yes, what time is it? It's almost 10. Yeah. Race from Perdition says, it's so amazing that yoga has that quality, yet a lot of gurus were scam artists like Christian mega church preachers do the same. The calling makes them lose their morals. Raised from Perdition, I had a yoga teacher hit on me physically when I was like 13 or 14, probably 14. And he was like rubbing up against me at a yoga studio in Los Angeles. And he's like a famous yoga instructor. I saw him in a book and I was just like, but yeah, it doesn't mean that they're perfect people for sure. And a person like him with what he was trying to pull with me when I was 14, and I don't think I looked 18, but I don't think he freaking cared. He was probably somewhere around 30 and he was so gross. And he was like touching me with his toe. He was like rubbing my leg with his toe. And I was just like, holy crap, man, I got out of there so fast. So yeah, yoga instructors are just as stupid as other people. But yeah, it is weird for me becoming a yoga instructor because I am making that transformation slowly but surely. And weird to think about this whack job, Caitlin Armstrong, being a yoga instructor and thinking she could get away with that, you know? And I just wonder if her little yoga instructor persona was part of what she thought she could hide behind. But yeah, it's disgusting that anybody would take somebody else's life, but for her to think that that was going to solve her problem, for her to think that Mo was her problem when it sounds like Colin was just a playa, you know. You know how those guys get, professional athletes and rock stars, they all think they're rock stars, right? And Colin was about 35. I think Caitlin was about 34 and Mo was about 25. So that really had to yank her chain that Mo was a full 10 years younger. And again, being that age, early 30s, they might have been thinking about kids. Caitlin might have been. Colin might have been. But yeah, what kind of mother would she make, right? All right, I need to get a drink of water real quick before I keep talking. I'm holding my little mic in my hand because I think it sounded better than when I had it on my chest. So we are doing the gear switching over to the Watts Island. Yes, and they're usually perv as well. Well, it's just like, you know, coaches and teachers and police chiefs and priests. I mean, a lot of people take advantage of their positions of power, unfortunately. Miss W, that's funny. I bet he had bad breath. He was just gross. He was wearing like a little Speedo, and I was like a little Southern California girl. I did not appreciate guys who wore Speedos at all, ever, anywhere. It was like the biggest joke in the world for us teeny bops with the beaches. You know, it's like the dudes had to have the cool surf shorts. And they had to be kind of low and kind of baggy, not like the low and baggy that, you know, became the thing. But yeah, definitely not Speedos. Anyway, so here we go. Diving into Watts Island. The first thing I want to say about it is it's beautiful to me that DA Michael Rourke's wife, Kimberly, and her co-content creator put that channel together called, what's it called? Survivor's Guide to True Crime. And then that video that they had on their channel, the one video that they took down, it was a great video. And I don't think I got to watch the whole thing from start to finish. I think I only got to see the parts of it that were in Paula Plunder's video and Behind Criminal Minds videos that got struck. I was going to watch the whole thing, and maybe I started to watch the whole thing but didn't get to finish it before it got taken down. But I put in my description yesterday this other channel, the one that was like a Spanish channel, you guys. I don't have those notes right in front of me. Reels, what was it? Renalte Reels or something like that. You were trying to look it up, Mark. But that channel, the video that I put the link in the description yesterday, they played a lot of the original video from that channel, Survivor's Guide to True Crime, that got taken down. And I mean, it's really atrocious. The things that they said, the things that Rourke said, and that can and will be used against him. And again, for that, we can thank him. There's no reason for any public official to ignore thousands of emails that are all making the same request. Like, that is the most arrogant, crass BS I've ever heard in my life. And he's just so condescending, and he made some major mistakes in that case. And in the Behind Criminal Minds video that they just put out yesterday, the newest one, and they were very careful so that it can't get a strike. But that content creator talks about this other case that is a case that Rourke handled possibly even worse than the Watts case. So I found that fascinating. That's why I had to watch that video twice, because I'm not familiar with that other case. It's a very old case in Colorado. But let me keep up with you guys here. It gets worse, like the European men with the Speedos. Yuck. Exactly. Yeah. Gross. Gross. NK guilty of helping. So I have a lot of strong opinions about NK, and I've studied that case in depth. I wasn't going to study that case at all. I ignored that case when it first happened because of my own issues. But the way I got caught up onto Watts Island was watching one of the full feature-length documentaries on Netflix. And it just hooked me. I mean, the entire documentary was body cam footage and just real video from the Watts lives, you know, all of Shanann's Facebook stuff. Every single frame in the entire 1.5 hour documentary, however long it was, every single frame of it is real life. And it's just crazy. It's so crazy. And then I got kind of taken in under the wing of Kelly from Watts the Obsession, who I just feel like I owe a lot to for helping me start my channel, because without Paula Plunder's encouragement, without Kelly's encouragement, I don't think I would have done it. I mean, you need to have a mentor, right, Mark? Who's your mentor? So, you know, it's a wonderful thing to have started my own channel, and I love it so much. It's my baby. You guys are my babies. Christina Randall says that, and now I get it, right? It's just such a cool thing to have for yourself and to share with other people. So, getting started in the true crime community with the Watts case as Kelly's special guest, you know, she liked that I had all the mental health training and law enforcement type of stuff, first responder type of stuff, court work type of stuff. And she really talked me up. It was cute. I thought it was so kind and very professional of her. But I have studied the Watts case a lot, and my opinion, I'm going to share with you my opinion, is that Chris Watts is spineless, and that he didn't think this up by himself, and that he had a very controlling mother, And then he had a very controlling wife. No offense. I love Shanann. I think she was great. And then he had a very controlling mistress. The man didn't have a backbone, um, in my opinion. So I don't think he would have cooked up a plan like this on his own. And I also think that NK was stalking him and his wife since fall of 2017. So she didn't get hired at Anadarko until 2018. Her and Chris swear that they didn't start dating until like June of 2018, but I'm pretty sure that everything they say is a lie. So who knows? Some people speculate that they might have met at the gym before she started working at Anadarko. But it's my understanding that her and Shanann crossed paths at a children's hospital where Shanann was a full-time employee, or a regular employee, maybe not full time, but she had a job at the children's hospital. And one of the things that she did was organize a fitness, what was it, like a fitness challenge. And NK allegedly crossed paths with Shanann because she signed up for the fitness challenge. And there's that one photograph of NK where she's like on a rope ladder type of netting. And that, I believe, is from the fitness challenge for the children's hospital. That's my understanding. Anyway, my opinion is that she had her sights on destroying Shanann, kind of like Single White Female, if you guys remember that movie from the 90s with Bridget Fonda. And I'm not the only person that thinks that. Actually, I'm not sure if Kelly thinks that, but I know that Paula Plunder did a video on it because I thought that I had come up with that idea on my own. And then Paula was like, oh no, I did a video about that like a year prior. So that, is interesting when you think you've concocted something and then you realize that other people have concocted the same thing. So I don't want you guys to think that I believe that everything that I've thought of with any of these cases is unique to my own thoughts. Like, yeah, a lot of us are going to have the same types of thoughts. So I wanted to go over that like yesterday when I was saying that, sometimes I think people take my content and don't kick me credit. And I love what Mark was saying. He was so cute. He was like, I got all my jazz content and give her no credit. And that was hilarious. But I just don't want you guys to think that I think too much of that. I think that happens sometimes. But that's a really good example of when you can be completely in left field. Anyway, so I'm not the only one who thinks the Single White Female, and I've heard other people talk about it. I don't know if Kelly thinks that. I don't know that we've had that conversation, but it wouldn't surprise me if she did. Anybody who's really studied the case, I think, might have some element of that. I see that Shan is here. Let's see. Did you check to see if it is on Rumble? I'm not sure which you're talking about. Still can't find it on description. Oh, the Renalto Reels. I'm pretty sure I put the video link there. If I forgot, I will take care of that tonight. Let's see. Because their video has so much of it. Yeah, because I was talking about it and saying how they'll definitely be at risk of getting a strike. But I don't know all the ins and outs to strikes. I know Shan does. Yes, we'll find in the description. No mentor, why I barely have a channel. But Mark, you're doing a great job. I mean, you just focus on the things that you think are important and you're doing a great job. Kelly Watts is admitting wrong when she was not letting us go off BK guilty. Oh, wait, what? Annie Ruler? I'm fascinated. So you're talking about the Idaho 4 case. She's admitting that she was wrong when she was not letting us go off BK being guilty, because she did a video in the last day that was a 34-minute video that looked like something I wanted to watch. And I pretty much don't watch her stuff about Idaho 4 because she's been very sold on him being guilty. And I just have no interest in any of the channels that are very sold on him being guilty. Like, you got to keep an open mind, just like I'm not 100% sold on him being innocent. But if I had to choose one or the other, it would be that. So I'm wondering, I figured that she might come to realize that the law enforcement is shady AF over there in Moscow. She was driving the bus and body changes. NK was on a power trip her whole life. Boot camp or challenge. Oh, really, Mark? This is on Rumble? Whoa. Well, and see, I could really picture, this is pure conjecture. I could really picture NK trying to be a little chummy with Shanann, and Shanann being snooty, and NK just having it in for her. That's purely speculation, but that's my intuition, is that they had a bit of a run-in, and that Shanann didn't even really notice her, and that she was out to get revenge. And then I think she kind of, in a gross, sick NK kind of way, might have fallen in love with the douchebag, the baby daddy of Shanann's. I mean, it's just so sad to me that her life was taken, the little babies, girls, Nico's and the baby girls, all their lives were taken. And for what? I mean, disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And again, they thought they could get away with it, and they probably would have if not for Nicole Atkinson and her quick thinking and being right on top of everything. And for the plane being late. If that plane wasn't hours late, that completely monkey wrenched their whole freaking plan. Thank goodness. Like, that was an intervention from God, in my opinion. Annie Ruler says, I think she may have got the job there after started the fling, in my opinion. Right, the job at Anadarko. Yeah. Yeah, they could have been dating for a year. Who knows? And yeah, I mean, Chris, I mean, how he got a woman like Shanann to marry him is beyond comprehension. But then for him to cheat on her is just like, right. Like, that is the craziest. And then for him to like cheat on her with such a skank. I mean, sorry, not sorry. Shan, I'm listening in, but gonna keep busy. I'm thankful for all Paula Plunder does for Mo Wilson. Yeah, and I really want to see the part of the body cam video of the police in Colin Strickland's garage where they're talking to him, and she has it on fast forward without any audio. And I want to get a hold of that body cam video. I want to know what else they discuss. And maybe it contradicts what I was saying. Maybe he was more forthright with them about what he knew, because you would think he would have suspected Caitlin right away. Absolutely. Absolutely. But you know, he tried to protect her, even in his testimony that he provided in court. He tried to say that he had all kinds of crazy, jealous girlfriends. She wasn't the only one. And it's like, well, you're really saying something quite lovely about yourself, because not only that you select crazy, jealous girlfriends, but you give them something to be crazy and jealous about. You know, I mean, he's a cheater, in my humble opinion, possibly, allegedly. Let's see. And yeah, Mo was way too good for him. I would almost say Caitlin was too good for him, but you know, she's scum of the earth. He just was no prize. I mean, yeah, he was really good at his gravel racing sport, but what a weasel type of douche. And, for Mo to hang out with him, just to go swimming with him and have dinner with him, you would think that she was probably still interested in him and testing the water. And, he was just leading her on, in my opinion. I mean, you can't really go from dating somebody to being friends. Like, again, in my opinion, that's just bullshit. You can't. You don't hang out with people that you used to date. That's just not a good plan. And I'm sure some of you could argue, we all have different life experiences, but I've been there, done that. It's not a good idea. Absolutely not. Is it true Chris told Shanann that getting pregnant with a boy could fix their relationship? I think so. I think he's the one who wanted another baby. I don't think she was gung-ho for it. I think she got pregnant because he wanted her to. And then, of course, she was all gung-ho once she was pregnant. But, she had her own health issues, and she was overwhelmed with the girls, and they were overwhelmed with their finances. I mean, they were living way beyond their means. It was a recipe for disaster. And yeah, I see Chris Watts as NK's victim, and for Rourke to say, and his wife to say, that NK was a victim of Chris Watts is the most absurd thing in the world. Like, yeah, of course, I thought that initially when this whole thing first happened, back in 2018, when I first saw pictures of the mistress, I thought, oh, the poor unknowing damsel in distress. She was probably completely tricked by this guy. And then once I looked into the case, it was like, no, she knew. And even if she only knew about it, even if she wasn't a part of it, which I think she was 100% a part of it, but just like that 111-minute phone call that she says she can't remember anything about, that was occurring while Shanann's plane was delayed. Yeah. I mean, she lied about everything, and she deleted everything. And that's one of the most profound things in the Behind Criminal Minds video, is that this whole past 5 years, all of that information that she deleted has been retrievable, and it's still retrievable. And the district attorney Rourke lied and said that they didn't have the equipment to retrieve it. And maybe they don't, but they can hire people who do, right? So all content is owned by God, no lawyers, please. That's cute. I like that. Yeah. And yeah, Behind Criminal Minds, I think, is a lawyer, and they say that they hired a lawyer for the strike against them with this channel, the Survivor's Guide to True Crime. And I'm glad. I'm really glad. Like, yeah, fight for freedom of speech, freedom of press. Realtos Reels. Oh, okay. I had it wrong. I thought it was REALS. Okay, that's the channel, you guys, that has the video that has a lot of the audio from the video that Rourke is on with his wife. And Annie Ruler says, watch her last one. Is that Realtos Reels? Is it a female? I mess up and mentioned a theory. OMG, I can't put them on, or some raise their voice at me. No, not on Rumble. NK was in control of Chris totally, in a power trip witch god complex. Think she pushed Chris and also had huge influence on Chris from day one, and body change. Right, his body change for sure. Absolutely. Allegedly, she was also dating like a CEO type at Anadarko. So yeah, she had her own side things. Like gym might have been a side thing. I don't know. But yeah, we all know she was looking up things like trigger warning, double penetration, and preparing for the backdoor action. I mean, just really creepy, gross. No, I was asking Realos, can't find it. I was asking. Okay, got it. All right, you guys, I'm getting tired. Look, I hit my 1 hour mark and I'm like ready to pass out. It's only 10 o'clock, but I do need to wrap this one up. And I want to get on live with you guys tomorrow. I want to talk more about Lindsay. I really think that she knew things, and I feel like I can break down some of that video some more, the Ninja Chihuahua video. Oh, and let me address that real quick, Mark. Ninja Chihuahua put a comment to my comment section from yesterday's video, and she misheard what I was saying. Like she said she couldn't see the chat when she was watching on the replay crew, and she thought that I was saying that maybe there was a beef with you and her, which I wasn't saying that at all. So I clarified for her, and I think everything's fine. But I just wanted to bring it up. The beef that I was talking about in yesterday's video with you that involved her channel was I don't like to say the name of the channel, but the gray channel that had everything to do with the fire cam footage. So that guy was being rude to you and being rude to her. And so I just wanted to clarify that there was no beef with Ninja and Mark. Mark and Ninja are all happy, joy. And yeah, it was that other very large content creator that was extremely rude and insulting to both of them when they were emailing him with some good questions. So I'm not a fan. Good night. Adios. Annie Ruler says, I'm going to grab that creepy thumb. Where did I put it? Oh, and I was going to see if you guys could find the Tabasco bottle. If somebody finds the Tabasco bottle, put it in the chat and I'll send you the white Justice A to Z hat. So please hit your like button if you'd be so kind. And should we hang out for just another minute so that you guys can try to find it? It's kind of hard to see it, but somebody probably has seen it. Shan, are you still here? You're good at that. That's your game. And sorry that I came on a live when you were on a live. I had to, and I just felt like I was being so rude, but yeah, we all understand, right? You got to do what you got to do. Tomorrow, guys, yeah, no beef, love all, even if I am wrong. I love myself. Yeah, I have no problem being wrong when I make a mistake. It's okay. We're all allowed to make mistakes. And there's times where I really wish I was wrong. Like, I really wish I was wrong about Lindsay, thinking that she's not a loving, nurturing, safe mother. I really wish that she were a nurturing, loving, safe mother that would go to the ends of the earth to fight for Kylie and fight for justice for Kylie. I really wish she was. I would love it if she can prove me wrong. Please, 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 please. That would make my day. Good night. We are tired. Did I see what? The little Tabasco bottle, Shan, the tiny Tabasco bottle that was hiding up here yesterday, and somebody won it. I can't remember who won it, but was it Bex? I think it was Bex that won the hat. So for identifying the little tiny Tabasco bottle. So it's just a clear bottle with the label taken off and the lid is red, and I hid it somewhere else. So if you guys can find it, you can win the hat, but we'll continue with that tomorrow. I know my eyes are funky, can't see stuff. Bubbly sees hardly at all. Oh man, yeah. Well, she does some funky stuff with those photographs. I can't even look. I found it in your hand. Yes, you did, Mark. Would you like a Justice A to Z hat? I'd be happy to send you one for sure. Seriously. So yeah, I'm kind of losing my voice, huh? All right, you guys, I'm gonna say peace out. Yeah, Mark, email me your address and I'll let you win the hat for finding it in my hand. All right, you guys, have a lovely night. Take really good care of yourself. Get your sleep, get your rest, find your truth, find your inspiration. Just be yourself. Like, man, it just gets so overwhelming trying to like do everything right all the time, right? All we can do is be ourselves and take care of ourselves. And I'm really excited about learning yoga more better and helping other people learn yoga. So it's a whole new adventure in my life. So I'm excited. And yeah, I'm going to be studying hard because I just got to change gears and get into it. Because that's just how I am. That's my personality. I'm all or nothing. I don't do anything half baked. My new channel is Justice AA to ZZ, guys. All copied content. Mark, I endorse that. That is lovely. That is the best. That is too cute. All right, you guys, have a good night. Drink your water, eat your protein, your fruits and veggies if you're still snacking tonight, or if you're on the West Coast, it's earlier. I usually eat a bowl of cereal before I go to sleep. It's hard for me to fall asleep without it. Tonight, I was going to have oatmeal. Shredded wheat, the big biscuits, shredded wheat, you guys. That's my jam, but I'm all out of them, so I'll probably have oatmeal tonight. So now you know my big secret. I try to go to sleep without eating cereal, and I usually have to get out of bed and get a bowl of cereal. So it's hilarious. I'm so predictable. All right. Anyway, peace out. Sending you light, sending you love. See you mañana. And what else? What else? Good night, everyone. Anna Bean, I'm so glad to see you. Thanks so much for being here, people. You guys are the best. You made my day. I'm so glad I came on live. Thank you. See you soon.